Black and Paper presents Chat Cinema, Episode 2. This is Brett Graham from Black and Paper. The topic of the podcast today is going to be the Berlinale, or should I say the changes we would like to see at the Berlinale for 2020. The festival has a new creative head, or I guess two creative heads, because this is Dita Kosak's last year. I'm here with
Sofia Stavrianidou I'm a peer agent and journalist for Free Cinema and RBB.
Stephen Yates, a Berlin-based British film critic, part of the International Federation of Film Critics, FIPRESI, and also writings across the world, but only in the English language, sometimes translated. Currently, I'm most prolific for a website called El Hype, which is based in Spain.
Okay, so here we go, guys. Oh, this is going to be a rough topic. I hope they let us into the Berlin Film Festival this year.
This is what I'm praying for now.
Okay, so what would you guys like to see change at the Berlinale?
Do you want to start, Britt, or
Oh, God. I think, Sophie, I'll let you start on this one. Let's let ladies
Okay.
first.
Okay. I would say, well, the first thing that should change, to my opinion, is the program. There are too many bad films. I mean, the quality of the program, the quality of the films. We cannot allow into the competition be so many bad films. I'm sorry to say, I'm very, very willing to watch so many good films, but sometimes, especially in the competition, it's so many bad films. Later, we're going to speak about Panorama and the Forum, which is like half of it. I think
I don't think I've ever sat through a foreign film moving forward.
Well, in the Forum, that's another. I mean, in these programs, Panorama and the Forum, this is the thing. You find like two amazing movies, and all the rest of it, it's really, you cannot even watch it. And the second thing is, I think, and we can say more about the program or whatever, and the second thing is the capacity. It's intimidating. It's so enormous. It's so big. Please, the next director, creative director, please reduce the capacity of the festival.
Yeah, I echo completely what's been said by Sophia and Brett so far, that the program and the capacity is just like so vast, and even though it's big quantity and it seems like all very democratic, it's also like very, very impersonal. I think as well as the program and the capacity, the film festival itself, it has no feeling of a hub. There doesn't seem to be a festival mood.
Like a whole.
Yes, and despite the fact that it's all concentrated mainly around Potsdamer Platz, still there doesn't seem to be any vibe, or it all seems quite cliquey, little exclusive groups. I know the problem that the London Film Festival had, for instance, was the fact that it was all a bit fragmented across London, but Berlin hasn't got that excuse, because much of what's going on is taken around the Potsdamer Platz, but you just wouldn't know it. It's lots and lots of people all tucked away watching, below standard films really for what was an A-list festival, which I've heard recently has slipped from something like second or third down to seventh.
Yeah, well, we were going to bring that up. Very good topic, Steve. I like what he said.
Right.
Yeah, well, I mean, God, where do I start? You'd be here all day, and you know how I am. I agree with the movies. There are over 400 films at the Berlinale, and who the heck has time to watch 400 films? And I think out of the 400 films, you may get, what, 5 good ones? Five,
Well,
five that can be
you're
watched.
exaggerating.
Okay, 10.
Tops.
Yeah, 10.
No.
Yeah, exactly. And I agree with what you said. It doesn't feel like a hub. I agree. There's no real atmosphere. There's no real feeling there. I thought about that, what you said. Yeah. And by the way, the new creative head is, Sophia, you can pronounce his name better than I can, Carlo.
Carlo Chatrian?
Yeah, he's from the Locarno Film Festival, and he's Swiss-Italian. And there's also he's handling the creative side, and I think the business side is going to be handled by
Mariette Riesenbeek.
Riesenbeek. Yeah, so there are two heads. I've interviewed Carlo, and I found him to be very charming, and he loves film. He's very enthusiastic. He has a different approach compared to Dita. He's not so into branding himself. he believes in the filmmaker. He's a real cinephile. He loves it.
But the thing is that we, of course, we have to give to Dieter Koslik that he has brought a lot of money to the festival.
Good
He
going,
has
Dieter.
he has made it very big. Actually, he has brought a lot of stars. We have to give it to him.
Yeah,
Okay.
he
I
did.
mean,
All right.
his PR ability is excellent. We have to give it to him.
Good going.
And on the other hand, we have to say something additionally for the Berlinale. It's also a festival for the audience, which is very, very important. I mean,
This is
I don't
true.
like walking around between professionals and professionals who are crazy and they are not watching films, actually, the professionals. It's like to be around people who also watch films, and this is perfect. I love that.
I agree. Dieter has done a lot. He's really expanded the festival. But I think the problem is he might have overstayed his welcome and became a bit out of touch. That's my opinion.
Yeah.
He didn't keep up with the times.
Filmmaking wise, let's
Right.
say, I mean, in the sense, I do agree completely in the sense of getting new things and new directors and voices
New
that
ideas,
you've
right.
never ever heard.
I agree. Steve?
Yeah, just as a quick aside, because obviously it's made it very big and it's brought a lot of money into the festival, but it's, sometimes the whole last 10 years seems to sort of collapsed into one. You've got L'Oreal there in Potsdamer
Yeah.
Platz with their base, and you've got the adverts, but most importantly, you seem to have the same filmmakers coming back
Thank
every...
God someone pointed that out. Yeah.
Every 3 or 4 years, they seem to come back round again.
With
Very
bad
good.
films.
With bad films.
Even if the films are crap, sorry my language, they come over and over again, and because she was the last year and this year she must be the opening and blah blah blah.
And the film is like, how did you get the money for this movie? I mean, was there like a some kind of fundraiser on Twitter or something? I mean, yeah, because Berlinale, I guess like all film festivals, there's like this cinema cult. And like if a big director is showing a movie there, even if the movie is really bad, the press area is just packed. And you're like, why are you even asking questions about this? I mean, it's like we got up and walked out of some of these movies, but everyone has to be there because they feel they have to be in the presence of this director. And you're like, well, this director hasn't made a significant movie in 30 years. My big thing with the Berlinale is, okay, the location. I'm sorry, I just don't
like the
Hyatt.
location.
I think the Hyatt is just a geometric mess. And remember, we talked about this last year. Internet connection is horrible. This is the 21st century here. We're media. There are no places to plug in your computer or recharge your phone. Basic here.
Well, this year, in 2018 at this festival, they had a sort of a place where you could plug your
Where?
There was chargers.
But those
within the press area, but it was so full that everybody wanted to charge, but you couldn't find a charger.
I think it was like they had like 8 places or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah,
In the
remember
Berlinale with 400 films and 15,000 people.
They had 8 places for chargers. Let's have a think about this.
And also, another thing about the Hyatt, that one press room they had with the
I never go in there.
That's just amusing because, we all have our own opinions of what we think of the other film journalists, but to say it brings out the worst in them in that particular room.
Yeah. Imagine rats on the Titanic. Yeah, that's what that press area can be like after the 3rd or the 4th day. It's not a pleasant sight, trust me.
Oh.
It's very tight. Yeah, I don't like the Hyatt. I've never and second, you can't really film in the Hyatt. Did you know that? You can't film because the staff will come up and tell you stop filming.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, in the day you can.
When they're
they're very.
suits.
You do realize this is a film festival, right? So we're supposed to be filming, but no, they don't. No, I don't like the Hyatt. I've never liked the Hyatt as a location. I think it's cheap. I think it's really bad.
And actually, the press area is not that good. It's not that big.
It's a hallway.
There are no, it's a hallway. There are no seats, and actually, there are around 4,000 accredited journalists It's
And I
unacceptable.
repeat, they have 4,000 journalists and 8 charging stations.
Oh, come
Okay,
on.
well, back to and what Steve said, it's fallen. Berlinale has fallen to number 6 or 7 in the
Yeah.
film festival schedule.
Well, actually, it's the
has no
time of the
influence.
year that it's not that very good. The filmmakers, they skip it very often.
Yeah.
It's exactly before Rotterdam, which is a very powerful film for first-time filmmakers.
Yes.
And around the corner is the fantastic Texas,
That
the one
South
that
by
you love.
Southwest Film
Exactly.
Festival has like,
So why come to the
oh,
Berlinale exactly?
and right before the Berlinale is Sundance.
Yeah.
Need I say
Yes.
more?
Yeah.
So so it's really like, okay, guys.
A very good point that
Yeah.
both of you made there, actually, like a very obvious point, because I think when it did first start, because of the weather in Berlin, especially in winter, when it did, I think it started in June.
Yeah,
first
it was.
started in-
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
in 1961, I think it was.
Yeah.
It was taking place in June.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and I think for a place like Berlin, which has very cold winters and is a bit miserable in February,
Yeah, I agree.
To have the film festival seems always seems a bit odd, really.
Yeah, because you don't really see the city in February. I mean,
No.
sometimes you're ice skating. If it's
Yeah.
really cold, you have to literally have ice skates to go from one venue to the other. It's a bit of a depressing scene, trust me. But like I said before, and we have to remember, it's award season.
Yeah.
The Berlinale takes place
Yeah.
during
Yeah.
award season.
Mhm.
So,
So every actor, of course, we don't lack of actors. That's true, but it's also exactly the eve of the Oscars, and everybody has to go.
mhm.
Has to be in Hollywood, in Los Angeles. It's a difficult time of the year. Actually, of course, it's okay. It's February. This is not my main problem. The basic problem, guys, I think it should be the program.
Well,
Yes.
but that
Yeah,
could
sure.
tie
Yeah.
into the problem though, because maybe the filmmakers, they're coming from Sundance, they're holding off until Southwest or Rotterdam, so they're skipping over the Berlinale.
Yeah.
So it's I mean, we've had this discussion before.
Actually,
Is the Berlinale, getting leftovers?
Isn't Rotterdam before Berlinale?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Rotterdam's had a very good reputation for a few years now.
Actually, Rotterdam
deservedly so.
is the best festival in the world for first and second filmmakers.
Oh,
Because they
really?
have exclusively that. First and second filmmakers. I
wow,
know it because
okay.
while I was working at Thessaloniki Film Festival, it's exactly the same category. We wanted to get premieres, but we couldn't get it because all the good films, first and second, they were going to Rotterdam actually.
Oh wow, I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah, and they have a very good market also.
Wow, okay. So something for the Berlinale to think about. I personally think the entire Berlinale should be rethought from top to bottom. Changing venues, changing the date, getting over their political pretensions.
And the orientation of the program, I'm
Yeah.
sorry to insist, but you see exactly within the program some unacceptable movies that
God.
we shouldn't be into the program.
Some
And-
movies shouldn't even be released; they escape.
Exactly. That's what I also think. And
Yeah.
every time that the program, I mean the printed program is released, I'm really intimidating. I'm in a horror because there's so many pages, there are so many movies that I don't know where to start from.
I just go to the champagne bar. I wait it out.
And you're taking us with you.
Yeah, because some of the movies, yeah, but I do agree. There's, like I said, I think it slipped. I mean, we talked about this earlier. The Venice Film Festival is now the top. Sorry, Cannes, Venice is taking their place. I declare Venice #1 this year, but it's Venice, Cannes, Toronto, Sundance, South by Southwest. And I don't know, is Berlinale or Rotterdam? I don't know which one, but Berlinale has lost influence.
Yeah, I mean, I went to, it's a little bit smaller, but it's a lovely place. I went to Carlo Vivari finally last year.
Okay.
And that's an excellent program, Of course, weighted a little bit towards East European films, but no
They have
problem with that.
newcomers at Call Vary?
Yes, first and second.
First and second,
Oh,
the
wow.
same category.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yes. But it's excellent, very well programmed, and the organisation there seems very nice. And it's an A-list festival. I mean, I guess in terms of profile, it comes down in the A-list, but apparently it was in a mess about 10 years ago, and now it's really, really recovered. And hopefully that will happen to the Berlinale, because Locarno is another of the A-list festivals, and with the new director.
But we also shouldn't forget, if we're talking about A-list festivals and we're talking about worldwide festivals, it's also the Asians. I mean, the Asian festivals, they are also very strong, and they have their own industry and they have their own audience. We're talking about enormous festivals like the Busan, for example.
Yeah, but I say Busan, that's the one that comes to mind. I mean, that festival is like known all over now.
Exactly.
It's like, it's blown up. It's like, wow.
Because also the Asians, don't forget the China market, they're also putting money into that stuff.
True.
And they're producing like crazy, and they're doing co-productions with America, with Latin America, everybody. It's amazing.
That's true. I forgot. Yeah, Busan is. I don't know where Busan ranks, but yeah, it is a big. Everybody knows this festival.
Yeah, it has a very strong market,
Right.
but it's international market and also very strong Asian market.
Okay.
We're talking about a market that it's really so good and powerful.
Wow. Okay. Busan. Okay. Shout out. So maybe one of us will make it to the Busan festival.
Yes.
But back to the Berlinale. Are there any other points you guys would like to make about the Berlinale?
Yeah, and after all these years, I would question. I mean, the different program sections seem to have expanded. In fact, the forum has now got a section called Forum Expanded.
Who watches movies in the forum? I don't know. Do you watch? Okay,
I mean,
Steve watches movies at the forum, so that's why we never see him at the champagne bar.
that's the one. And then I walk out zombie-like into the street.
But I tried watching a movie at the forum years ago, and I never went back. I said, okay, I'm done. Maybe I'm intellectually challenged or something. I just did not get what was going on.
Also, I mean, I'm obliged at the Berlinale because I'm also representing Fipressi and their link-up with Film New Europe. So, of course, as a film critic, you're encouraged to see as many films as possible from the different sections.
Oh, lovely. Okay.
Which is nice and interesting and everything. But at the same time, the sections themselves, Generation, Panorama, Forum Expanded, I think they've got to really like revise them now and think, not so much having the programs, it's just the films that they choose. What gets into them.
But we'll have also to give to the Germans that they have a very efficient system. I mean, it's very nice to have access very easily into the cinemas as a professional. That's very nice. It's amazing compared to Cannes, but you have to wait like in the line for 1.5 hours.
If you're not dressed for certain events and things like that, and the layers of security. Now that is true about the Berlinale. It's very accessible. I do like that. Of all the festivals, I will say that about it. So that's something
human.
Very human. Yeah.
Very human.
Yeah, so we're not completely negative here. And so
no,
that's true. We do like that about the Berlinale. It's very true. And like I said, I have been to a Berlinale screening at 8 o'clock in the morning or 9 o'clock in the morning, a movie from Zimbabwe or a Southern African country. I was like, Lusetto, I have no clue where the hell that movie was from. And the screening was packed. It was sold out. On a Sunday morning, 8 or 9 o'clock, I was like, don't you people have anything else to do?
But it's very rarely that some professional who wants to watch a film stays out.
True.
Is left out.
True.
Everybody gets in. This is very important.
Yes.
And we have to give it to the Berlinale and the Dieter, how it is organized. I mean, every little step that they organize is so good organized. We have to give it.
So we're positive.
I mean, we're not talking about for now, earlier we were talking about the content of the films, the content of the programme rather, the films chosen. But actually, the organisation of the Berlinale, like I said, even though we said it was maybe sort of too big, despite that, the organisation has been sort of very, very good. And sometimes you forget the good things they do, like almost
very
taking
good point.
it for granted.
Very true. Yeah, very true. It's true. Yeah, it is very well organised. Yeah.
But of course, on the other hand, I don't want to watch culinary cinema. I'm sorry, but I'm not interested. I mean, culinary cinema, and you know something? Last year, I found out that there is a section that I've never heard in my life.
Which
and I
one?
have been to the Berlinale for like 15, 16 years. It's a section like books to be made films.
I never heard of that one.
Me neither, but there
Where's
was
that?
a Greek book that was going to that had potential to be a film. So that's why I found out about it, because I had a specific interest in it. It's amazing.
Oh,
There are a lot of things that you don't know about.
obviously not. But like I
Little
said,
secrets.
I'm in the champagne bar most of the time, so a lot of things go over my head.
And you also have another positive is you also have the World Cinema Fund, which I think is linked up.
Is that linked to the Berlinale?
It's
I don't
linked
know.
to-
Oh
Is
my
it?
God! Whenever I get the press release about that, I always put it in
I
the
thought they
trash.
stopped that.
I'm sorry.
Is
Well,
that still with the Berlinale? I
No.
wasn't sure.
I think so. I think it was last year.
Yeah, it is. It
And I
is.
think they have their little skeleton staff, or how.
So why is it in existence? I mean, what type of movies are there? I mean, I don't know.
I mean,
You know?
usually films from say like South Asia, Bangladesh, or South America or Africa. Countries which find it very difficult for different reasons, either
Okay.
economic or political, to get funding. They help fund them, of course, and
Oh, okay.
often they get a screening at the Berlinale,
Oh,
probably
good.
in
Okay.
Forum or Panorama. So I think it is.
Is it part? Okay.
It is worthwhile.
Mhm.
But in terms of, I've asked, I've passed it on to a couple of people,
Oh,
a few people.
great,
I don't know
okay.
how successful or otherwise they've been.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Mhm.
without being cynical, you sometimes wonder if it's just the choice of one person.
Oh, wow.
Get what
Yeah.
gets
Oh,
Mhm.
I did.
I've got another positive to say about
Okay.
Berlinale, so we'll get into
We're on a roll.
I think one of you hinted at it earlier, is that they really bring it out to the people of the Berlinale. I also like the fact that during the Berlinale itself, they take it into the local cinemas, the local keys.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
sure, yeah. Very true.
So they really bring the Berlinale to you rather than you having to go to Potsdamer Platz
Yeah, also great.
or Zoo Palace, because Berlin, what I'd also like about Berlin, it's one of the few capital cities in Europe now, say with the possible exception of Paris, where you've still got a lot of independent cinemas and small cinemas and
True.
lots of communities and enthusiasts that keep it going. And I'm glad that the Berlinale supports that during their program. It takes the films to the smaller cinemas too.
So you see, we had our positive list, just like we had our negative list. Unfortunately, we kind of emphasized the negative a little bit more.
And one last negative.
What?
Too many awards.
Oh yeah.
Ah.
How many awards were
I
there?
mean, I
Are there?
counted them. It's 58 awards from juries, but it's also from sponsors, and it's also from a different jury and another. I mean,
Oh,
group
yeah,
of
the
people,
Teddy
or
Awards,
whatever,
yeah.
the Teddy Awards, and
I didn't know they had so many awards. Yeah, they give them out on Saturday, right? They start
the whole day. They start from 12 o'clock at noon, and they go up until the Golden Bear.
Okay,
Well, a friend of mine, a film critic in Cologne, Rolf, film professor, he's been doing he's been part of the jury for the award, the Caligari Award, which is also an award for most promising new film. And if it wasn't for knowing him, it would have been like off my radar, and you would just see it on the end.
Yeah, I had no clue there were so many awards at the
Yeah.
Berlinale. I just paid attention. Wow.
They need a whole day to give them away,
Oh my
actually,
God.
my dear.
Really?
Yeah, really.
Okay.
Usually I'm not there the last Saturday, and I'm waiting for the awards at night. But the whole day, that's what they're doing. Yeah.
Actually, for Cressy, with the exception of one year when it was on a Saturday lunchtime, for Cressy normally gives their award on Friday evening.
Who, the press?
For Cressy,
Yeah.
yeah.
So it means
Yeah.
it starts on Friday.
It starts
Okay.
on Friday, yeah.
It's
As
a
well as
couple of
Caligari,
days
actually.
only awards, you know.
I had no clue. Oh, okay. All right. Is there anything else? Let's see. I think I rethink. Okay, lacking. Yeah, the festival needs to rethink, like I said, to really gain influence, and that's going to be hard because there are some very dynamic film festivals out there.
Yes,
Yeah.
I totally agree there, Breck. And I think these have been there since 2001. So
Yeah, 2001, 2002. Yeah,
right,
that's
it'll be
it.
18 years. And I don't know what the time limit is for somebody being a festival director, but I guess, would 10 years be long enough? And I think
Yeah.
after
Yeah.
that, it's time for a change.
Because I do think they missed the boat on a lot of things.
Yes.
But I remember it was like 1 year or 1.5 years ago that there were a team directors and German filmmakers that they were demanding
Oh, well, the
a
infamous
good
letter. Yeah.
the infamous letter.
Yeah.
Exactly, they were demanding a good choice from the Ministry of Culture regarding the director of the Berlinale. And actually, there were some articles. Actually, the German press is not that bold, but there were some
Yeah,
very
they really
interesting
went after him.
articles that
Yeah,
said,
I was quite
"Okay,
surprised.
guys, we need to do something for the Berlinale because they were reacting to the program and they were also reacting to the duration
Yeah.
of this tenureship."
And yeah, like I said, the German press normally isn't so aggressive.
Exactly,
when it
exactly.
comes to
They're
the
not
arts.
that very bold, but
No.
when they are, they were very accurate
Yeah.
and they objected that.
It shocked everybody. It was like, wait a minute, it was like a bomb dropped. It was like, wow, okay. And like I said, it was all German. It was the German creative team.
Exactly, exactly.
Creative people.
So when we came to that point, objecting to the Dieterkirchlich tenure, of course, we have to think, they had to think, I mean, to the Minister of Culture, whoever makes that kind of decision, how to improve the Berlinale and to find somebody maybe younger. I don't know if the age plays some role. And somehow change the direction and
Well,
their
they did.
orientation.
Yeah, they did. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens in 2020. Actually, it's going to be interesting to see what happens February the 7th. Berlinale starts. We will be there.
And also with it being his last festival,
Yeah,
if
his
he
last festival.
if he does more of the same, or is he gonna leave on a change,
High note,
a radical high?
Yeah.
Okay.
So stay tuned. You can find me Black and Paper on Twitter, and of course, I have an account on Instagram, but I don't use it. But I'm still there. Sophia.
I'm also in Facebook and Twitter and Instagram as Sophia Stav.
And I'm also on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And what's the other one? All of them I'm logged into in some form or other as Stephen Yates. That's Stephen with a V.
Okay, thank you. Take care, and we'll see you. Berlinale starts February the 7th, so stay tuned.